Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is a consulting request for asshole.consulting.com. If you have a video request or you just need a consultation on whatever and you're willing to pay for it, I'll consult you, I'll tell you what I think on whatever because you're paying me. Anyway, Raymond writes, I have another video request. Topic: escaping national debt via inflation. I've heard the argument that the national debt can be eaten away by balancing the budget and then inflating the old debt away over time. Is this a bad idea, and why, since the national debt seems impossible to pay without completely defunding almost all of the government, and it seems politically impossible? Ray. Okay. Here's the thing with the national debt. Debts in general, doesn't have to be the national debt. Anybody's debt has an interest rate attached to it. And that interest rate, let's just say it's 3%. I know it's not 3. Just shut up and follow with me. It's 3%, okay? And inflation is only 1%, and so the people who lent the money are making a real rate of return of 2% a year. So their purchasing power is going up 2% a year. Now, what invariably happens, especially in governments, when they print off more debt than they can ever hope to pay off so they can bribe the idiot masses into voting for stupid politicians that have no long-term planning capacity or delayed gratification. They say, oh, we've now borrowed so much money, we can't even pay off this debt. So what do we do? Well, there's two ways that you go about doing it. You default and say, we're not paying you back. Sorry, people who borrowed U.S. government treasury bonds. Sorry, people, we're not paying you. Those notes are worthless. Those little pieces of paper you have are worthless. Or they just say, well, we're the government. We can print off all the money in the world. We're going to pay back those debts. Well, the problem is that when you print off all the money in the world, that increases inflation, and so the real value of those bonds or those loans go down. Right? So this is why they say, if you got a mortgage, it's a low interest rate, and inflation is above that rate of interest. You don't want to pay that off because you're actually making money in terms of purchasing power on it. So you let inflation erode and eat away at the future payments that you're going to have to make. Right? Now, the government is aware of this. It's been done a million times before throughout history. We just print off more money because we're fucking idiot socialist Keynesians. Durr. That's Harvard economists, pretty much. Yeah, socialist Keynesians. Durr. And then you get your master's or your doctorate at Harvard. That's so they know that once it gets to the point that you cannot possibly pay back the debt, that we're just going to have to print it off, and that's what they call monetizing the debt. So you print off all this money, you pay it, and then with all that money flooding the economy, inflation goes way up, and the real value of those debts go down. And so that's it. Now, is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's all bad. You shouldn't have a national debt. You shouldn't spend more than you make. So there's the first problem right there. But is it bad to do it that way? Yes, it's unfair because the people who lent money to the government, their own money, are now getting screwed. When they get their money back, whatever principal and paltry interest there was, it's nothing after all the inflation that's occurred for their purchasing power. So you're screwing over the lenders. People who borrow money, yeah, it benefits them, like people who got mortgages, student loans, the government. But what you do then is you alienate people from ever wanting to lend money to you again. Or maybe not. I mean, if you were smart, you wouldn't lend money to governments that print off money and piss it away. Or people who are deadbeats. But I've looked at, as of recent history, Argentina is a perfect example I like to use. They totally fucked everyone in the ass, Argentina, up to $100 billion in government bonds. Yeah, we're not paying it because we're socialist douchebags. And, harumph. And then, I think, oh, no one's going to lend to that shithole country ever. And they did! They fucking did again! It's like, don't you fucking learn? And the same thing with the housing market. All these fucking deadbeats of my generation buying houses, flipping them, getting underwater on their properties, buying cars they can't afford. Hey, I just filed for bankruptcy, short sell. Yeah, we're fucking just like the idiot socialist douchebags down in Argentina. Durr. Harvard economist Keynesian. Durr. That's how they're all one and the same. They all belong to the Durr Club. And I thought, oh, they're never going to lend money to these people again. Their credit's all shot. No, fuck, the banks lend right back to them. So in theory, if saner heads ruled, you wouldn't lend money. Like, once you screw somebody over, you loan me $500, and I say, I lost, I'm not paying you back, you're probably not going to loan me again. But people are such fucking idiots in this country, in this world. I don't know anymore. So, when, like I said, if saner heads ruled, that's what happened. I want to see. Balancing the budget is really irrelevant, especially if if your interest rate eats away at your budget more than what you can grow. I'm trying to think of this. The pay positive funding. And then finally, here's the other thing. The only real way that you could get out from underneath a federal debt or any kind of debt is to grow your income or grow your economy. That's why the real measure of debt is not, oh, trillions of dollars. Oh, God, I can't afford a trillion. Well, no one person can, but when you're a population of 310 million, well, things are different. So what you got to do is put them as a percentage of GDP. So right now, the U.S. is, I think, we're at 110% GDP. Japan's at like 200. Italy's 220. I don't know. So I'm totally screwed. The pooch kind of situation they got going on there. And then like back in the day when the economy was really booming in the 90s, we went down. The national debt itself didn't necessarily, it was going down nominally, but because the economy was growing so fast, as a percentage of GDP, I think we got down to 36%. But fair hat tip to President Clinton, and I have to say a conservative Republican Congress. But then you throw George Bush in there, and oh my God, Obama! Oh, debts went through the fucking roof. Back when I was young, there was a little bit of hope of sanity with the federal finances. But in any case, yeah, so it's gone from about 36 or 38% to the whatever 110 or 100 and change that is today. So yeah, they can inflate it away, but what would happen is the value of the dollar would collapse. I think you'd probably betray the trust of pretty much everyone. I don't think people would lend money to the United States ever again. Well, I don't know, because people are stupid. But yeah, it's kind of like betraying the trust of people who would lend you money or grant you credit. So that's all we got. Toodles.